Are the heavenly beings in the realm of form and realm of formlessness able to transcend their fate? Yes, for in their state of deep concentration, the mathematics cannot affect them. But this transcendence is only temporary. Once they lose their state of deep concentration and give rise to thoughts, they are again bound by mathematics. This is why they have never been able to transcend samsara. If the strength of their concentration enabled them to transcend samsara and advance to the 9th concentration level to become non-regressive arhats, then they would no longer be bound by the mathematics. Once we understand these principles and know that everything is fated, we will look at this world with a non-discriminatory mind. We will not feel happy in favourable circumstances, or unhappy in unfavourable circumstances. I invited Mr. Kong to my home and told my mother about him. She said to treat him well. As we tested Mr. Kong's ability at prediction, we found that he was always correct, whether it was for big events or for minor, everyday matters. I became convinced of what he had said and again began to think of studying for the examinations. I consulted my cousin, who recommended Mr. Yu Haigu, who was teaching at the home of a friend, and became Mr. Yu's student. Liao-Fan invited Mr. Kong to his house, and being a filial son, told his mother about him. She said to take good care of Mr. Kong, and recommended that they test him. When someone tells us something, we would usually want to check its validity before believing it. When Liao-Fan did so, and found Mr. Kong's predictions to be accurate, he became naturally convinced, and heeded his advice. Mr. Kong then did some more calculations for me. He told me that as a scholar I would be placed 14th in the county examination, 71st in the regional examination, and 9th in the provincial examination. The following year, I placed exactly where Mr. Kong had said for all 3 examinations. Mr. Kong told Liao-Fan that he would rise through several stages of examinations to become a scholar. In the 2nd year, the results of the examinations were exactly as expected. From Mr. Kong's predictions for Mr. Liao-Fan, we can see that everything is destined. Every day, every month, when and how we will live, when and how we will die. Regardless of how we try to plan or even scheme, ordinary people cannot escape from this reality. I then asked him to make predictions for the rest of my life. Mr. Kong's calculations showed that I would pass such and such a test in such and such a year, the year that I would become a civil scholar, and the year that I would receive a promotion to become an imperial scholar. And lastly, I would be appointed as a magistrate in Sichuan province. After holding that position for 3.5 years, I would then retire and return home. I would die at the age of 53 on the 14th day of the 8th month, between 1 to 3 o'clock in the morning. Unfortunately, I would not have a son. I carefully recorded and remembered everything that he said. The outcome of every examination turned out exactly as predicted. Mr. Kong had also predicted that I would only be promoted after receiving a ration of 259 bushels of rice. However, I had received only 20 bushels of rice when the Commissioner of Education, Mr. 2, recommended me for a promotion. I secretly began to doubt the prediction. Nevertheless, it turned out to be correct after all, because Mr. 2's replacement turned down the promotion. It was not until some years later that a new Education Commissioner, Mr. Yin, reviewed my old examination papers and exclaimed, "These 5 essays are as well written as reports to the Emperor. How can we bury the talents of such a great scholar?" When Liao-Fan's salary reached almost 20 bushels of rice, Mr. 2 approved his promotion. Liao-Fan began to doubt the predictions. However, either due to a promotion or a transfer, Mr. 2 was replaced by another person who disagreed with Liao-Fan's promotion and overruled it. It was a few years later that another official, Mr. Yin, went through the papers of those who had failed the examination. These papers were kept and reread occasionally with the hope of finding talented individuals who had been overlooked. He read Liao-Fan's papers and was very impressed with them, saying they were as well written as official recommendations from government officials to the emperor. Obviously, Liao-Fan was very knowledgeable, and his papers were extremely well written. The new commissioner wanted the magistrate to issue an order for me to become a candidate for imperial scholar under his authority. After undergoing this eventful promotion, my calculations showed that I had received exactly 259 bushels of rice. From then on, I deeply believed that promotion or demotion, wealth or poverty, all came about in due time, and that even the length of one's life is prearranged. I began to view everything in a detached manner, and ceased to seek gain or profit. We can see that Mr. 2 was an exceptional person, for he had wanted to promote Liao-Fan as soon as he read the examination papers. However, his replacement overruled the promotion. It was because these two people had different opinions. Liao-Fan was obviously very talented. From this we learn that even a talented person is still bound by destiny. Whether destiny, time, or cause and condition, everything is predetermined. Liao-Fan had to wait until another government official read his papers for the proper condition to mature, in order to receive his promotion. From then on, Liao-Fan was awakened, and he truly understood. All of our encounters in life, whether good fortune or bad fortune, good luck or bad luck, wealth or poverty, all are destined. Ordinary people cannot change this. If we are not supposed to have something, no amount of trying to hold on to it will succeed for long. Conversely, we will naturally receive what we are supposed to. It is not worth the effort to do what is wrong and to risk all in the hope of attaining self-satisfaction. Understanding this, Liao-Fan no longer had any thoughts of demand or of gain and loss. He was truly at peace. We can say that at this point he was a perfect ordinary person. Today people cannot even meet this standard for ordinary person. Why? Our minds are impure and filled with wandering thoughts. Liao-Fan did not have wishful wandering thoughts, since he already knew everything that was going to happen in his life. Ancient sages said that a wise and virtuous person knows that everything, including one sip and one bite, is destined. However, foolish people relentlessly pursue things that are already destined to be theirs. Ordinary people are bound by their fate. At this time, Liao-Fan only knew that life was destined. He did not yet know that there was a variable, and that by practicing in accordance with true principles and methods he could change his destiny. In this way he could attain whatever he wished for, as he became the master of his future. For example, if we wish to attain wealth, we practice the giving of wealth. To attain intelligence and wisdom, we practice the giving of teaching. To attain health and longevity, we practice the giving of fearlessness. This is the correct way to change our destinies. By following the right principles and methods, we can even attain supreme enlightenment, much less worldly enjoyment and happiness. After being selected as an imperial scholar, I was to attend the university at Beijing. During my year-long stay in the capital, my interest in meditation grew, and I often sat in silence, without giving rise to a single thought. I lost interest in books and stopped studying. Liao-Fan was now meditating daily. From this, we can see how peaceful and quiet his mind had become. When the mind is tranquil, wisdom will naturally arise. The wisdom of most people is non-functional because their minds are not pure. Liao-Fan was able to remain calm because he knew his entire future. He knew that it was useless even to think about it. Without wishful thoughts, his mind naturally became settled.